Hey everybody, I'm Sabrina Diaz, Emerald Ambassador, and tonight my beautiful friend Christen Garaffa, who is a Ruby Ambassador, is joining me. I just really wanted to highlight her story. She is a powerhouse when it comes to this business for so many reasons, but the obstacles that she has overcome really, really stood out to me, and I felt like it just needed to be talked about. Christen is a homeschooling mama of two beautiful special needs girls. And I just want you to hear what she has to say. If you have ever thought about doing this business, but had some reservations that you might not be able to do it, you're unsure how to do it, how to fit it into your schedule, she is a powerhouse and can explain everything that she has done. So, Christen, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
my first question to you is when homeschooling became part of your life, were you nervous about adding one more major responsibility while already building your business?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was nervous and skeptical about homeschooling at all. And if I'm being really honest, if my girls were neurotypical, I probably would have never ventured down that road as an option. I just would have sent them to school. I went to school my whole life. I'm not anti-school, but I just saw, in their development that there was a need to keep them home and give them that more individual, undivided attention. So that was a bowl of nerves in and of itself. And then having a responsibility like a business, which I'm very familiar with. I owned my own restaurant at one point, so I know what it takes to, you know, keep those doors open and all the things that go into that. So it totally was nerve wracking. Of course, it was nerve wracking. Like you're thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to sustain home life, homeschooling, two special needs girls, plus, a business? But that's the beauty part about Plexus is that it's not your typical brick and mortar. You are not, reporting to a boss. You have no quota. You have no cap. You just need that discipline. To just do it in the pockets of your day. And same thing with homeschooling. The two actually are so similar in nature that once I got the ball rolling with one thing, adding in the business just kind of flowed with the lifestyle we had already had set up.
What a great connection. You're right,
Yeah.
though. It is just like homeschooling. My kids being in public school, we didn't have that freedom to just go and change our schedules and just do things on a whim. But you're right. You could do that. And that's amazing. All right. So question number two, with both of your daughters having special needs with autism, what did you have to learn about building a business in a way that honored your family's needs?
Grace upon grace. Lots of grace for yourself, for your family, for your time, because your day is not going to look perfect. It's not going to look the way you might have intended it to look. You could have all the best intentions in the world, but you're dealing with two individual human beings with a lot of emotions and need. And so just being able to roll with the punches at times, maybe changing some things up. And like I said, just being okay with that. I'm not a person of patience by nature, but this has definitely taught me a lot of patience across the board and just being able to pivot and that being okay. That, if I have a schedule laid out in my head and it doesn't look like that day, that's okay. That's the beauty part about homeschooling and doing a business like Plexus, where I could do the business when my girls finally go to sleep at night. I could carve out that time. Or if the morning looks really hectic, we could do school later. This is the flexibility of it. And for some, that might feel a little overwhelming at first, but then it actually becomes such a privilege to be able to shuffle things around and not be so confined with time. And so that's what I found to be really beneficial for us with the business and with being able to homeschool them.
Such a blessing. When your girls were really small, you
Hmm.
moved.
Hmm.
What did that season of life look like, and how did it affect your business?
So another scary thing because I'm originally from New York, but when we got married, we were living in New Jersey, and so all of my, clients, so to speak, at the time were friends and family from where I grew up and where I lived. So now I was moving to Florida, totally unknown. I knew no one, and my girls were super little. Haley was, I think, just about one, and Liana's 17 months older, so littles. And it was like super nerve-wracking. But again, there was blessing in change because I was able to do it in the pockets of my time. And then coming to a territory where I didn't know anybody, it forced me and pushed me out of my comfort zone to make friends, to do vendor events, to get my business in front of new, fresh people. And I actually ended up going Ruby when I moved. So you could absolutely continue to grow even during chaotic seasons where you feel like how, now what? It allowed me to never fully take my foot off the gas because the way our business is structured just again gives us so much room and flexibility. There's no boss hanging over your shoulder like, oh, did you do this? Did you do that? If you just stay even minimally consistent, you could grow even during moving seasons of illness, whatever. I mean, I have done this business from my bed, not feeling my best. That's the beauty part of not having to clock in anywhere. So it is doable for sure.
That's incredible. And truly, if you're unfamiliar with, how this company is structured, Ruby is a very big deal in this company. And for her, not only moving with two small children to a place that she didn't even know, and to continue to advance. I mean, the beauty of just networking, social networking, it
Mhm.
it really is the way of the future. And kudos to you for, moving on up in your business while under the most stressful times of your life. Um, Number four, were there moments where you felt like your life was too full to keep growing?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there are seasons where things feel calm and peaceful and you're in your groove, and then life's right. Like things happen, unexpected things happen. And again, even with moving or diagnosis or whatever season you might face, this is the beauty of linking up with a company like Plexus because it will go where you go. It travels so well through seasons, through states, all the things. Because again, you don't need to do 20 hours, a week, 40 hours a week. You just need to devote intentional pockets of time to keeping the lights on, to keeping the doors open, to staying in communication with people. And we have a team, an amazing team. And I think that above all is such a blessing upon blessing is that we as a team collectively will pick up slack where others, if you are going through something, Sabrina, you've done it for me 1,000 times, hopped on calls for me if I needed that. And I think having that camaraderie and that community really helps. You're never doing this alone. And that really helps, the infrastructure. It's just so supportive, so you'll always have that as well, which is huge.
I love the team atmosphere. Like just having those close people and just knowing that there always is somebody there. And
Yeah.
it really just takes a lot of that weight and pressure off because we're not going to be 100% every single day. But knowing that you have a place to lean in a place of when you feel like you can't show up, that is just amazing because you cannot just call out of a 9 to 5 job and hopefully somebody will just pick it up at that moment, especially at a whim. Our kids wake up sick. You never know what's going to happen. It could be just a bad day.
Yeah.
Your team is there for you, which is amazing. What did consistency look like when your schedule was not predictable?
Okay, so well, that's a lot of the time. Because my kids are not predictable, right? No kids are predictable, but especially homeschooling is really unpredictable because I'm not sending them somewhere from this time to this time, so I know I have this block of time. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much. levels of the unknown going on. But again, small intentional steps, making sure I am posting, that takes minutes. I mean, if you're scrolling anyway, putting up a post in regards to your business and kind of keeping the lights on is really minimal effort. Following up with a few of my current clients, just making sure that they're feeling good and if they need any support. And then just doing a few, new reach outs to just say, hey, these are the products I've known, I've loved, and this is the results it's given me. Are you open to getting some info about it? Those three little things will keep your business pushing forward. It takes very little heavy lifting. I mean, it doesn't even take a lot of brain, work. It's just kind of wash, rinse, and repeat. And if those three little things happen on a daily basis at some point in the day, your business will continue to grow and thrive. And if you do that much more, you'll reap that benefit. You know what I mean? But the bare minimum is so simple to keep up with. And I love that.
Yes, consistency all the way in any area of life. Consistency is where it's at. All right, so I'm going to ask you two more questions. Because you are already building from home, how did it feel to have the freedom to homeschool your daughters instead of constantly worrying about IEPs, 504 plans, or whether they were getting the proper attention they truly deserved?
Yeah. So I started the business before school was even being thought about, before the diagnosis even came. My daughter Haley was 9 months. I mean, littles, right? Um, and so I was already in the groove of sort of doing this, and it just was such knowing that this was my job already, and that looking into kind of schools IEPs with the services that they offer, or doing private, maybe more, intentional care for them, curated for them, scheduling wise, maybe, not having to wait till school's out and like, getting the appointments Tuesday at 9, instead of waiting till like the end of the day and all the things. It really just opened up such a door for me to even consider it, right? Because if I was back working as a chef, how was I even going to consider this option for my kids? So it just opens up so many doors of freedom and choice. And I think that's something that in and of itself, so many people struggle with. If you're in that box of like, this is what I do, to even have the opportunity to consider homeschool or to consider, just a more open schedule. So it really wasn't difficult for me at all to say, you know what, I'm already working from home. I don't need to necessarily put them in school. And you know what? Even if I decided one day that school would be a good fit as they got older, that's okay too. Like again, it's the choice. It's choices are so valuable in this life. So it's really so cool to be able to do that.
I love that. And I know myself having a neurodivergent daughter, um, being around mom is very calming, and just
Mm-hmm.
having you and your love and nurturing all day long and guiding them through their studies. It just hits different for a child in that state. So that's such a blessing in itself. And then last but not least, what would you tell the moms watching who think my situation is too complicated for me to be successful?
I would never tell anybody, oh no, it's not. Whatever you're feeling is valid. That's how you feel. And you feel that, like your plate and my plate might look different, but if you feel overwhelmed and full, 100% valid. But what I would say is keep an open mind, because this business could take some of that off of your plate. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. That's the beauty part of linking up with something like this, is that over time you might be able to free up some of those demands that are on your plate because you're doing something like this. So I would just say keep an open mind, ask the questions. Questions are free, conversation is free. There's really no risk And that's something I really want to convey is that the risk is, again, I owned a restaurant. There's tons of risk in that, right? Money, time, stress. I mean, all the things. The risk here is so minimal that if you ask the right questions and you get on the right team, which we absolutely have here, um, you might be surprised that you could do this. You could absolutely do this. And it's going to take less time out of your day than you think. And the more you build and grow, the more time and space you're going to free up on that overloaded plate. And then you can make choices. And again, choices are just such a blessing in this life to be able to have. Just the opportunity to be able to make it. So many of us just feel like we live in this box that we can't get out of, and that creates so much stress. I have so many friends who are working so hard and then trying to, be a present mother. And something like this could grow to the point where maybe you don't have to work full time. Maybe you don't have to work that job at all anymore. I mean, again, it's just choices. So ask the questions, have the conversations, and give it a try. I mean, there is nothing you're going to sign here. You're not you're not signing your life away in blood. You're not signing a contract. Again, there's no cap, there's no quota, there's no inventory, there's no shipping. This is truly just sharing products and helping others wash, rinse, and repeat. And it could be so minimal. It could be 15 minutes from your day. It could be an hour of your day. Whatever that looks like, it is doable. You are capable. You are already doing hard things. And this might just actually lessen the load, even though it feels like you're adding another thing. And that's what I have found here.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And you just really never know until you try, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
it.
no harm in trying. There's no risk to be taken. Just give it a go and see if it opens up all of those doors of freedom that you know are sitting there waiting for you. So, Kristen, thank you so much for sharing what was on your heart, sharing your life with us. Your daughters are absolutely amazing and they have such an incredible mom. And just thank you so
I
much.
love their
I love them tons. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Bye, girl.